I want to believe. So let's talk about how to build a belief. Sorry, I just hit puberty then. But I want to actually deep dive into belief, what it is, how to build one, and why. Well, because when you look at what a state is, okay, a state is anything that is a body of beliefs. That's what Neville says, right? If you look up his definition, it's a body of beliefs. And if you take it even further, then he says, if you assume this body of beliefs, eventually it'll harden into fact, okay? Which is now your new perspective, your new way of seeing things. But not just that, it's your new way of living and being in the world. It's never just, I accepted a cool idea. No, you're embodying the idea, okay? So a state is the embodiment of a not single belief, but a body of beliefs. Okay, so to really, really understand this, you have to think of yourself as an artist, all right? But to actually really, really kind of grasp how to build a belief, you have to think of a belief more of like a piece of Play-Doh, okay? Or a sandcastle that you're building, okay? And the reason being is because we kind of are thrown into this world. Okay, and that means there's things that are already established for us by others. So even, for example, you might hear the word truth and you might automatically go to something that can't be changed or challenged, right? So the sky is blue. Well, you just can't challenge that, right? And so you might have a concept that's already locked in, okay, about your particular state that you want to begin embodying. And the problem with that is you've already walked into a limited or a contracted version of what you're possible or what is possible to experience because of other people's beliefs, because of your parents' beliefs, because of your church group's beliefs. Whatever it is, you have now walked into an idea that has been constructed for you by others. And so even beauty, maybe, for example, you grew up and you always hiked. So for your understanding of beauty, it might be nature-based. For somebody else who grew up, let's say with parents who were big into the fashion world, maybe for them beauty is exterior, right? Maybe it is about clothes. Maybe it is about makeup. Whatever it is, there's two different versions of the same word, right? And the reason why this is very, very key to understand is that when you're building out a belief and how to build out a belief is you have to first unpack the beliefs that you've accepted as true. And you have to unpack these ideas because really building a belief like Build-A-Bear here in America, if you don't know what that is, that's a shop where you literally will construct a bear with the help of a machine. And you get to say what the bear looks like and colors and all this kind of stuff. The same idea, by the way. And so you are constructing an idea. You're taking an idea, whatever it is. Wealth, okay? Yeah, but if you have an idea that's already constructed by others, whether that be societal or your childhood experiences or how your parents treated money, that's already going to color your perspective of money. That's where you start. So if you build a belief, you have one step before you start building, which is the deconstruction, which is the unbuilding, right? Which is the demolding. So you can get back to that kind of clear, open to being anything molded version of, putty or clay or, Play-Doh or whatever it is that you want to use as a metaphor. You have to go there first. Okay. Now, can you ever go in and just start molding from a new belief with your old belief still in tow? Yes, you can. But the benefit of this is that you don't have the risk of these other old beliefs showing up again. Okay, so then the deconstruction to me is way more important. And yes, I'm coming at this as a social psychologist and behavioral scientist who understands the human mind. So I am giving you tips from what has been shown to be the case, right? There's a tendency to fall back. This is what Neville refers to as the default state. Okay, and that default state is because you didn't do the deconstructing work, right? And again, it doesn't mean you can't manifest, and it doesn't mean that some of those things won't stay. But for the most part, they won't. And I'm not saying this to be somebody who's trying to create fear in you. But really, when Neville says that the law and the Bible and everything about the law is psychological, it's really not that far from understanding the mind through a therapeutic lens or through a psychological lens. Okay? Now, yes, you get what you believe. So if you believe that you can hold a desire past limiting beliefs, then of course do that. But yes, Neville even encourages us to do this. He says your body is an emotional filter. So you must do the actual work of releasing any limiting emotions, right? So this is how you build a belief. You take an idea and you first deconstruct all the baggage that you have around it. Then you begin clearing away all of the old chunks and dirt and all of the limiting things that you've accepted as true. And then you begin to really, really think about it. What would it be like? This is where Neville is going with this when that's his first question he challenges us with, right? But what would it be like is not an academic thought. He's not asking you to be like, oh, let me just think about it. No. What would it be like? That's your hint. Be. What would you be like? That's really a better way to phrase it. What would you be like? Like, how would you see things? How would you feel things? How would you touch things? How would you react to those things if that was already true? So you're taking on this idea of belief, but you're building it. Because remember, it's a body of beliefs, which means is you can still say, oh, I'm wealthy. But yet you can still be shaping I am wealthy from my parents thought wealth sucked. My parents were socialists. They thought that everything was being, oppressed. My parents were capitalists. So then things can be modified and things can be manipulated, right? And I'm running off of stereotypes here, okay? And you can take these stereotypes with you and say, okay, well, here's my wealth. And then, but there's these other body of beliefs that are influence it. And then you could take another body of belief that says that's going to, by the way, reinforce it, right? So that second, third body of belief that shows up is going to be like, oh, money's hard to come by. So then money's hard to come by is, oh, well, now I'm jealous because other people have it easy and I don't. Okay, so then you are now creating a body of beliefs that even though your first initial body of, your first belief is I am wealthy, it's supported by other ones that aren't, right? And so you're constructing a very faulty base, hence why you can create from I am wealthy, but then it ended up going away, right? And this is why, because you want to think of a belief as like either a chain or, like I said at the beginning, like something that you are pliably controlling and guiding yourself, right? You're actually molding it. You're adding to it. You're building off of it. Okay. But you're building off of it with other thoughts that look like it and feelings and emotions that are reinforcing it. And that's what you're doing. That's why it is like a castle, because you're building this huge, deep, strong, force-like foundation that can't be touched, right? You have this metaphor in scripture, right? The wise man builds his house upon the rock. What is sound? What is a fact, right? Okay, but that's a fact to you, okay? And so this has to be to the point where the belief is a fact. So what does that mean? Well, you have to get to the point of conviction. Well, conviction, as I shared in another video, is this idea that you're looking for proof in your world, like a person who's convicted in a court of law would, right? You're looking for the proof to actually argue your case. And so you're doing that day in and day out. And I'm probably going to be doing a workshop on this because this is kind of just like an introduction to how to build your body of beliefs, but that's a state, right? But I encourage you to actually do this work, right? Begin today saying, okay, I have a desire, whatever it is. I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to be a rock climber, whatever it is. What are the thoughts that are already in place that have been given to you by someone else that you don't want to accept, right? Begin chipping those away. Whether that take a day, 6 weeks, it doesn't matter. Can you still at the same time be manifesting while you're working away? Yes, you can, because that's what this is about. Life is about learning how to do the dance of deconstructing and reconstructing at the same time, right? So hope this was helpful. Give this a like somewhere, hit that bell icon for more content. We'll be doing some live soon, doing some Neville Lounge stuff where we get to hang and get to bring people on and have conversation. So be on the lookout for that sometime in the future. And much love to you. If you're looking for coaching, get in touch. Otherwise, love your life.